another exchange I had with an anti-Circ. We discussed the basis of certain atheistic principles, the principles of science, and I mentioned a paper from a colleague, friend, student, Rabbi Dr. Shlomo Sovolovsky, professor at Wayne State University, who presented a paper that claimed that Michelson-Morley did not disprove ether. It did not prove that there was no such thing as an entity of space outside of the mass of what exists in the universe. Because Michelson-Morley determined that there was, or showed that there must be something, but not the traditional ether that was speculated on during the 19th century. The Michelson-Morley experiment was repeated tens of thousands of times. There might have been a million calibrations, a million times that the speeds of the various components of light were recorded. The vast majority of those recordings, there still is a discrepancy of between 5 and 4.5 to 7 kilometers per second. That's tremendous velocity that light loses when you separated it in the direction toward where the ether was supposed to be, which seems to indicate that there is a separate entity for space. I said that this backs up what it says in the Sefer Yetzirah, that space was created by the 6 emotional spheres. You know nothing of Kabbalah, but this is the principle, that space is created by the 6 emotional spheres, time is created by the intellect, and matter is created by God's will. These are 3 different sources of existence within the spheriotic system, but each one of these is independent of the other. Space is independent of time, independent of material. They combine, they exist within each other, in combination with each other, but each one has a different source and a separate source. And that's the conclusion of the Kabbalah, and it seems to be the conclusion, the true conclusion of Michelson-Morley, contradistinction of what Einstein said. So, a fellow by the name of Tin Woodsman, who's an anti-Circ, made fun of Professor Stephen Sovolovsky. So I asked him, if you're such a big shot, go ahead and tell your stupid stuff to Professor Sovolovsky, if you dare. What's his response? His response is, I'm not joining you penis cutters. In other words, the pursuit of truth has its limits. If as the result of the pursuit of truth you must make a conclusion that there is a God, and that God commanded us to circumcise, he doesn't want to look at that truth. He's made up his mind. He will hide behind the cloak of science. Unfortunately, sometimes the cloak of science are like the emperor's new clothes. They don't exist. Sometimes there are ideas on the truth of the world that scientists are unwilling to accept, but nonetheless are true, because when they're presented, people of thought, people of great letters and discerning abilities realize the truth of those statements. So it is with the paper that Professor Sovolovsky has presented. It has not been criticized by the scientists in a formal manner. In fact, some people who are of great knowledge have accepted the fact that Michelson-Morley remains a mystery. And is there an ether? Is there a separate entity for space? That's yet to be determined. Unlike what Hawking says, unlike what Einstein said, the truth is what counts. And if the truth shows that there is a creator, and we have to listen to the creator to circumcise Jewish children, so be it. Truth is what counts, not bias. And I say so understanding that it's a double-edged sword. Shalom, my friends.